Okay, this is a fabulous afternoon. I'm going to turn it over to Kenn Harris. Please help me give him a very, very warm welcome.
All right, this show is called Kenn Harris and Friends, but it's the friends part that make it happen. And I have to say one thing, and that is that when you do music and you try to create music, play music, you go to all these open mics. And there's one guy in the back over here named Glenn and Gwen from the Arizona Live Music Cooperative, who foster live music in this town every Monday, and they've been doing it for a few years now. And without playing out at their place, and also Walt Richardson's at the Tempe Center for the Arts, I wouldn't know the people that are in this room, except for Robby, who I've known for about 40 years. But so we have a really wonderful program that I think is multi-generational, multicultural, and a lot of different types of music. And we just hope you'll really enjoy it. And if it wasn't for my friends who are here, my dear wife, Debbie, my favorite niece, and all my neighbors and stuff, wouldn't be here today. So come on up, violins. So each one will announce their own program about what they're going to play. And the most amazing thing is that when I asked them, they said yes. And so this is Steffy, who I met at the Tempe Center, and Aimie and Kentarou, and also Michael. Turn it over to you guys.
Aimie, Kentarou, and me, Steffy, are going to play a song that was written 250 years ago by Robert Schumann. And if you have planted the seed, picked up the fruit, you know the feeling. It's Happy Farmer. You need lights. This next song is Santa Lucia. It's an old Italian gold song.
It's so soft. Hi, my name is Aimie Siejak.
And I'm playing Bruce, third movement.
Hi, my name is Kentarou Siejak, and I'll be playing a Rondo Capriccioso by Sansan.
And they were good a year and 2 years ago, but they are really, really good now. And it's just been such a pleasure to watch people grow musically and in every other way. Steffi is the coordinator of all the violins that are here. If I didn't know Steffi, this section wouldn't be here. And she asked Michael DiBarry, who just finished his PhD at ASU about 2.5 years ago, and then 3.5 years ago, or 4, yeah. And he now teaches, and he'll explain that and what he's going to perform. Welcome, Michael DiBarry.
Hello. Now it works. Hi everyone, my name is Michael DiBarry. I am so happy to be here. I am a violinist and violist, and I teach violin and viola and orchestra over at Glendale Community College. So I'm your neighbor. In that respect, I'm very happy to get to be here for the first time and to meet all of you. I'm going to play something very different. I will be surprised if some of you have heard this before. I'm going to perform some selections of Persian classical music. So this is the classical music of Persia, of Iran. This was the music that would have been played in the royal palaces in the mid-1800s. And that tradition has continued all the way into today, and it's a completely oral tradition, so it's passed down only by ear, it's not written down. And this, the classical music of Iran is a protected UNESCO intangible heritage. It's very much like jazz in a way, because there are elements that you play with and you improvise around, but there are certain things that stay the same. So I'm going to play a collection of pieces in Mahur. And when there are times where there's going to be a steady beat, and if there is, and if you feel that, you're welcome to clap or stomp or move in some way. And there are times where that beat will disappear. I think that when the beat disappears, it feels a little bit like someone reciting a poem as opposed to even continuous rhythm. The last thing I want you, 2 things. Also, because this is the music of Persia and the Persian culture, please know that it's not connected with the current political happenings in Iran. It's a very separate thing, and I'm happy to talk to anyone about this afterwards. I will also now retune my violin because while they definitely play on violins nowadays, the repertoire that I'm going to play is based on a different instrument called the kamonche that you can see at the Musical Instrument Museum. So please enjoy this mix of clap along, stomp along, and enjoy.
for Michael, DiBarry, Kentarou, and Aimie Siejak, and Steffy Hristova, who coordinated all the violin section. Just amazing. I thought when I was talking to Ivy about the show that if it was half as good as it was in my head putting it together, it would be really good. But it is exceeding my expectations. Thank you, guys. That was really great. Okay. So I have to get set up with another instrument that requires tuning and stuff like that. Notoriously out of tune even with themselves, and so I've got to get set up for this. What I have to say is that I got a call from someone who is on the program, with whom I've practiced, who has just a magical and wonderful voice. Her name is Ellie Gottlieb. She's the oldest of 6 kids, and I think many of them have a cold right now because of Ellie. And so she couldn't be here today. The program says Gershwin and Billie Eilish, so I look like neither of them. But 3/4 of what was said in the program is going to be true. And I like this guitar, it stays on tune. So 3/4 of that is going to be true, and Ellie will try to catch them. And wish for health, chamomile and honey and all that stuff. So the songs that we were going to do were Summertime, and then Billie Eilish's No Time to Die. And it is the end of summer, although you can't feel it. And although they say summertime and the living's easy, in Arizona where it's 100 or 110 almost every single day, it gets to be quite a trip. So let's time warp back to the 1920s and Gershwin. And if you know the song, please sing. 3-part harmony, great. 2-part is okay. Unison's fine. Loud is best. Okay. On the chorus. Summertime, and the living's easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton's high. Your daddy's rich, and your mom's so lucky. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. You're gonna rise up singing. You're gonna spread your wings, wings and take to the sky. But until that morning, nothing's gonna harm you. With your mom and your dad standing by. Summertime, and the living's easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Don't you worry, 'cause nothing's gonna harm you, harm you, harm you. With your mom and daddy standing by. You're standing by. Standing by. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. Don't you cry now, baby, don't you cry, 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 cry. And you should hear Ellie do it. Okay. And because of her, I learned this song. Sing. I get to do this another. It's in high school. Aimie and Kentarou are in high school. The person who wrote this, I think she wrote it at age 19 with her brother. Her name is Billie Eilish, and just phenomenal person. In terms of song, sacrifices their parents made to make sure they had enough training to do what they were going to do. This was part of the James Bond movie, Daniel Craig. This is my version of No Time to Die. Again, Ellie's spec. I should have known I'd leave alone. Just goes to show that the blood you bleed is just the blood you owe. We were a pair, but I saw you there. Too much to bear. My life, when life was far away from there. Well, Was I stupid to love you? Was I reckless to help? Was it obvious to everybody else that I'd fallen for a lie? You were never on my side. Fool me once, fool me twice. Is it death or paradise? No, you'll never see me cry. There's just no time to I let it burn. You're no longer my concern. Faces from my past return. Another lesson yet to learn. That I'd fallen for a lie. You were never on my side. Fool me once, fool me twice. Is it death or paradise? You'll never see me cry. There's just no time to die. No time to die. Fool me once, fool me twice. Is it death or paradise? You'll never see me cry. There's just no time to die. Thank you. All right, so this show was already filled. I'd already filled everything I needed to, and then I met this guy over here in the wing, and his and his name is Vincent. I liked him immediately. Vincent, come on up, and his very talented 11-year-old daughter. Come on up, please. He'll take, and the reason I like him is, number one, he has hair, and number two, he's far more cool than I will ever be. And the third thing was, at the last two sections at the open mic at Walt Richardson's Walk-In Wednesdays, he was the last person on one night, and it was the best spoken word I'd ever heard. Now, I'm not sure exactly where spoken word poetry, storytelling cross, and someone that does a lot of storytelling said, it's an interesting question. But he does spoken word better than I've ever seen, and he's got two N's in his name, and so do I, so I like the guy immediately. So we are going to perform a spoken word piece that we've worked out. In about maybe 40 years ago, I took some jazz lessons, and my teacher, Bob Brown, who's up in the blue sky in New Mexico at this point, he created a clinic for the guitar store that he worked in. And Tommy Tedesco, if you know who Tommy Tedesco was, he was like the guy from the Wrecking Crew, right? And so he said, can anyone come up here and do some guitar stuff while I'm reciting a poem? So one guy got up and he just ripped through some stuff another guy just played the song that he knew. And I listened to what he was doing and started doing this thing. And then, and that gave me the power, because my teacher said I did really, really well, to say to this guy, I will give you my last spot, and you can have it no matter what, because you got to show up early and you get the last spot. You have to wait around a long time. And so I said, I'll give you my last spot, but I can do this thing. And so we went out on outside at Tempe Center for the Arts, and he liked what I was doing, so this is our version of that at present. Vincent, Alfonzo, Jamal.
You are once and an ever force of life and light, love and complexity throughout time, which does not exist, and so this is to be celebrated and recognized by other unique beings, and together see us elevated. For I, you, and us, we are not the same, yet have so much to gain by erasing the hate and embracing the state, seeing, being different drops on a canvas, and yet when united, creates the true portrait within the same frame. It can only contain the imprisoned vision to a mind, body, and soul still unready. So unheavy the chain, burden on your person. Emancipate self, the uprising is worth it. Self-appraisal of worth to silence oppressions that enslave us. With addictions and affliction on our human condition. Time to become self-awake, to self-educate, write our own loving mantras and scriptures, allow our words paint pictures, shared so we may in turn enter, learn, unlearn, which in turn is how we learn as life's intern. To calm and steady the brain, calm and ready to aim. Euthanize hatred and lie by the sights of the whites of their eye. We must be ready to claim what was bequeathed unto us from the day we were born in the form of one's right to exist in peace. From the moment conceived to the day we're deceased from this physical shell to wherever, if not heaven or hell. No longer here to take or give, but to exist and coexist. Or my layman philosophy, simply live and let live.
We got it.
We got it?
Let's hear it for Vincent, Alfonzo, Jamal, and the best spoken word I've heard. Thank you. At this point, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Kenn Harris, and I play a few instruments, and I have to sing this song that my wife and I spent about 40-some-odd years ago. We spent a lot of time in New Mexico. And New Mexico at that time was kind of like Tucson in the 20, 30 years before, like maybe 350,000 people there. And just a very peaceful, wonderful place. My wife is a painter, play guitar. We went back for a trip once and saw this sign. The sign said, Mother Earth, Father Sky. It was in anticipation of the Native American festival that was happening in July to August. Right? And so I had a little travel guitar there, and I started this song, and then I finished it here. It's one of my wife's favorite songs, and since she has to put up with regard, what sounds better, this key or that key, et cetera, I always have to play her favorite songs when I am playing it. So this goes out to Debbie. I have to change guitars. And again, when playing guitar, you always have to now I could silence the fact that I'm tuning right now, but then you would deprived of the story in which I used to put my kids to bed, I would sit with a solid body guitar and just sort of make things up. And she would always say, play that tune-up song, Dad. That great song I just did for you. This is called an archtone. It's like a violin, guys. Like a solid piece of wood that someone carved out in order to make sound instead of a flat piece of wood. And it was born about 1960. So when I found it up in Prescott, first moved 82, 83 or so. Okay, so this is my wife's favorite song. It's called New Mexico of the Mind. Heading back to New Mexico. Space and time we left so long ago. Got some old friends that I need to see and to find out what's left of me. Turquoise and silver on the sidewalk by the square. Blue sky horizon, pinning in the cool night air. Some of the things never seem to change up there. We didn't have all that much back then, but we didn't seem to care. Mother Earth, Father Sky, don't you worry, don't you cry. Brother Sun, Sister Moon, I'll be coming home to you soon. There's a space, there's a time, there's a space and there's a time, there's a space, there's a time, there's New Mexico. Small Toby on the edge of town. Not much to look at, but we could settle down. I could write my songs and play my guitar, and you could paint all day. Wouldn't have much money, but money never really mattered all that much anyway. Heading back to New Mexico, enchanted land we lived so long ago. Still in love with you, and it's so plain to see. If you love me, please come back to New Mexico. Be with me. 'Cause a part of you is a part of me, and a part of me will always be in New Mexico of mine. Part of you is a part of me, and a part of me will always be in New Mexico of mine. There's a space, there's a time, there's a space, and there's a time, there's a space, there's a time, there's New Mexico. Of the mind, Mother Earth, Father Sky, don't you worry, don't you cry. Brother Sun, Sister Moon, I'll be coming home to you soon. There's a space, there's a time, there's a space, and there's a time, there's a space, there's a time, there's New Mexico. Of the mind. Thank you. The next song is Tune Up. So this is a very famous song. This is my version, Over the Rainbow. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. One day I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt, lemon drops, way above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds will fly. If birds can fly over the rainbow, then what, then oh why? Why can't I? Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds can fly. If birds can fly over the rainbow, why then oh why? Why then oh why? Why then oh why can't I fly? Why can't I? Why can't I? Why can't I? So it's now time to ask a friend of 40 years at open mics and Robby Roberson to come up and help me out with a song. Now, Robby, when I'd see him at festivals, we'd only see each other basically at open mics, and sometimes he'd show up at the Prescott Folk Festival or the Flagstaff Folk Festival at the same time that I was there, and he could fit it in. I'd say, will you back me up on mandolin? And then he'd say, sure. And then I'd say, you don't know the song? And he'd say, okay. And then he'd say, what key is it in? And I'd tell him the key. And magic happened. And because of him and one other guy that played mandola up at Flagstaff, I started learning how to play mandolin and then mandola. But it's because of this guy and this Why don't you explain the instrument? Get something.
Check 1, 2. Yes, there we go. You may know the resonating guitar was developed back in the 30s. And it has this kind of built-in amplifier, a speaker, resonator. Banjos have them too, bluegrass banjos.
It has basically a metal plate.
A metal plate, a metal speaker. You can see it in here, but anyway, and that's without any amplification. So it was made to, so the guitarists could compete with all the horns and everything before amplification. But now it's kind of turned into not a bluegrass, but a Delta blues instrument is the guitar. And the mandolin came along as well. And actually they put resonators on violins back in the 30s as well. I'd like to get a hold of one of those. But so they made mandolins also back in the early days, and they just started the Resophonic company out of California. National Resophonic started making the mandolins about 10 or 15 years ago, and I just fell in love with it. So
It's on my wish list.
So is that coming out? Here we go.
So this is a song that I never thought I would do because it's a Dylan song. I didn't do that much Dylan. But then Johnny Cash did it. And then Roseanne Cash did her version on an album called The List. And her version, her husband John Leventhal, putting all these minor chords in, things like that, just fell in love with their version of it. So mine is sort of an amalgam of, or my version of Roseanne Cash's version of Johnny Cash's version of Bob Dylan's version of a certain song called The Girl from the North Country Fair. We actually practice it. Yeah. About 10 minutes.
Ken's calling an audible.
hold down her breath. Please see for me that her hair's hanging down, 'cause that's the way I remember her bed. If you go when the snowflakes fall, rivers freeze and summer ends. See, for me she has a coat so warm to keep her from the howling wind. All I'm wondering is if she remembers me at all. I have often sometimes prayed in the darkness of my night, in the brightness of my day. So if you're traveling in the North Country Fair, where the winds hit heavy on the borderline, see for me one who lives there. She once was the true love of mine, the true love of mine, 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 true love of mine. Robby Roberson. And even if he hadn't practiced it, he would have done it just as well, maybe even better. Okay, I'm going to turn the show over to him now because I said, you get your own section of the show, do whatever songs you want for a little bit, and then I'll be back and we'll do some others. Hope you're enjoying it so far as much as I am.
I'm very happy and honored to be up here playing for you all. Thanks, Ken, for putting it all together. You always have to find the right harmonica before you start playing, because once you're playing and you get to that point where the harmonica blows in, if it's not the right key, you're badly out of shape. So I always double check. So thanks so much again. I'm gonna play about 4 songs. My songs are really quite long, so I hope I can get through them. But if not, that's fine too. So I started writing songs back when I was a Beatles-struck teenager. Without the Beatles, I don't know where I would have been, honestly, to be honest. I'd been struggling somewhere in South Texas. But anyway, I wanted to be a singer-songwriter. But I did want to go to college after high school, so I went to college, in a small little college there in Texas, and I entered into the music program. But I never had any training. It was music in high school and couldn't read music, and they needed me to learn how to read music. And I failed miserably. So I went into my second love, and that was biology. And I became a PhD, and now I'm a professor at ASU teaching cell biology to a bunch of people that are a lot smarter than me. I tell them, you guys are, I know more than you do, but you guys are those people, the pre-meds, and all those folks. But at any rate, about 15 years ago, I started going to open mics there in Tempe, and man, it just exploded. I started writing all sorts and performing, and so for the last 15 years, I've been playing around the valley, around the state. So this is a song I kind of rewrote back from when I was a teenager. It was a long time in the oven, so it's called Start. Starting something brand new is always really exciting. And it's always hard to finish things, but I did finish this one, and I hope you enjoyed. A little bit more volume for me here. And I have danced with you in the night, serenading winds and a late moonrise. It encouraged me, and I realized that it's us. It's you and me and you. It's us. A light shines in our eyes. I skip stones across that pond, while fireflies light the night until the dawn. Dancing voices, they come here to meet. They are bright, clear, and distinct, and I can see it is my start. It is a start for me. It is my start. I will set her free. Well, all right now. La, 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 la. Now I carry on for reasons I know well. I'm moving slow, carefully, but I'll ring that bell. You can find me where the words ring true. Green, yellow, orange, but my favorite color's blue. It is my start. It is a start for me. It is my start. A start I have set free. I've set free. Well, all right now. La, la. Thank you. Thanks so much. So, songwriting process is the interesting one. I guess the creative process. Everybody does it a little bit different. I usually, I need to, works better when I unplug an instrument, I can't, my knee. I worry about myself sometimes. But I usually get up early in the morning when it's a good day. I'm up way before the sunrise. Of course, that's due to the fact my dogs need to be walked. I swear to God. 4 o'clock, man. Little Eddie's alarm clock goes off at 4. And oh my God, okay. But I like getting up early. And I come back to the house and very quietly, I don't play the banjo. but I just noodle around on the couch while my wife Norma Rose and the dogs are back asleep by then. A little bit bright, a little bit loud up here for this little puppy. So I came up with that kind of little riff, and I thought, wow, that's kind of a nice little jig. Kind of reminds me of an Irish jig or something like that. And I thought, well, by golly, I'm gonna write a little fairy tale song about this. Every verse and bridge is about a nursery rhyme or a fairy tale. Up, 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 up. Up, 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 up. Up, 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 up. Up, 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 up. Well, let's go! Well, I live under a sweet gum tree, catching flies all day just fine by me. And yonder princess I do see, gonna win a kiss and a prince I'll be. Yeah, up, 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 up. Up on the wall I sit on my throne. While the rabble is restless, I throw them a bone. From the ocean to the mountains, all this I own. I can fall, I can crack, it's the seeds I've sown. Go to the mirror, there are tales to tell. Cast your wish to the wishing well. Go to the mirror, there are tales to tell. I cast my wish to the wishing well, wishing well. And little boy there, he lays in the hay. His clothes were blue and a bugle he plays. But he ran all night, he slept all day. Well, the gate was open, so we ran away. Go to the mirror, there are tales to tell. Cast your wish to the wishing well. Go to the mirror, there are tales to tell. I cast my wish to the wishing well, wishing well. Sweet country, catching flies all day is fine by me. Yonder princess I do see, I'm gonna win a kiss and a prince I'll be, a prince I'll be, a prince I'll be. Thank you. Fairy tale song. Thanks so kindly. Change harmonicas. You know why that's important. So the Beach Boys, like the Beatles, were a very important part of my growing up and my adult life. I thought Brian Wilson was a odd but brilliant, as many brilliant people are. Not odd. Anyway, I always loved that song, Good Vibrations, and I wanted to emulate that. And I also read a lot of Joseph Campbell. I'm not sure you've read Joseph Campbell. He's a philosopher. And I loved it. I love the way he would say life is bliss, So I even have a tattoo on a wave. So that's what this song is called, Waves. Waves, a good vibration, whatever, Air waves, water waves, electromagnetic waves. But so this is my feel-good song about Joseph Campbell and me wanting to write a song about good vibration. It's called, what is it called? It's called, oh yeah, called Waves. I like one-word titles. I'll get it in just a second. There are seconds when they kiss, the heat displaces the mist. These two individuals firmly insist, together as one they will follow their bliss. But there's dangers in this night. There are forces they know they must fight. With bells and wings of flight, they will stand erect with their shields of light. Girl on the swing looks a lot like Susan. The boy on the bike looks a lot like me. The kids in the park dance in circles. Voices sing, let the bells ring. Let the bells ring. And there's cause and effect, making them little bitty hairs stand up on the back of my neck. My goals remain so firm, they're in check, they are here. They're directly in front of me. Girl on the swing looks a lot like Susan. The boy on the bike looks exactly like me. The kids in the park dance in circles. Voices sing, let the bells ring. Why not let the bells ring? And it's deep in my mind where these voices and visions collide with the focused on me, they are focused on you. There are seconds when they kiss, the heat displaces the mist. As two individuals firmly insist, together as one they will follow. They will follow. They will follow. Follow their bliss. 'Cause life is this. Life is bliss. Life is this. Waves, thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks so much. Oh, thank you. Deary.
Everybody having a good time so far? Woohoo! I am. I am. I really am. So this song needs a little explaining, as they say. There are two sisters that lived up in Montreal, the McGarrigles. Does anyone know who? Few people. And basically, they lived in the Pines in Montreal, and they didn't live in the South, in Kentucky or Tennessee or West Virginia or any Appalachia or those sort of things. But they made up a song that kind of mentioned all of the great songs that had been invented by folk singers. And this was sort of a little bit of a riff on Pete Seeger because he was so pure about it. So they made up their own song. And they called it Going Back to Harlan. And Linda Ronstadt did it on an old album. And they were good friends. And then Emmylou Harris did it on an album called Wrecking Ball, which was produced by Daniel Lanois. It's a gorgeous album. And so this is sort of my version of this on mandolin, which I started taking up because he was having so much fun doing it. So this is called Going Back to Harlan. Not sure if is it transmitting out there? Thank you, kids. Okay. There were no cuckoos, no sycamores played upon the forest floor. Underneath silver maples, balsams and the sky, we popped the heads off of dandelions. Soon the rows of nursery rhymes, rested by a riverbank, and grew up by and by. grew up by and by. Frail my heart apart and give me a little shady grove. Ring the bells around till they ring inside my head forever. Bounce the bow, rock the gallows to the hangman's rail. Chase the devil from his dream, going back to Harlem. Whoa, going back to Harlem. If I were Willie Moore and you were Barbara Allen or Fair Ellen, all sad by the cabin door, weeping and a pining for love, weeping and a pining for love. Frail my heart apart and give me a little shady grove. Ring the bells around me till they ring inside my head forever. Bounce the bow, rock the gallows to the hangman's rail. Chase the devil from his dream, going back to Harlem. Okay. So change of instrument time again. So for all the stringed instrument people here, the mandolin is kind of like the violin. And then this is the viola or the mandolin. Similar, tuned a bit differently. Jordan, is that So let's see, if you haven't heard me discuss this before, see if you can guess who wrote this song, I'll tell you. It's just a lovely love song. They bought around for the sailor, and they heard his tale of a world that was so far away. A song that they'd never heard, with a wave. You cannot live in the ocean. And she said to him, you never can live in the sky. But the ocean is filled with tears, and the sea turns into a mirror. There's a whale in the moon when it's clear, and a bird on the tide. She said, please don't cry. Let me dry your eyes and tell me that you will wait for me. Hold me in your arms. I promise we never will part. We'll never sail back to the time, but I'll always pretend that you're mine. We both know we must part. You can live in my heart, in my heart. So please don't cry. Let me dry your eyes and tell me that you wait for me. Hold me in your arms. I promise we never will part. We'll never sail back to the time. Always pretend that you're mine, but we both know we must part. You can live in my heart, in my heart, in my heart. Fish and Bird. And anyone know who wrote that or can guess who wrote that? Anyways, it was Tom Waits, if you can believe it, but this beautiful version by Afo Donovan, Noam Patani, changed instrument. So get some volume on the guitar. Help if I plug. Bad as the kids say. Well, that's better. So, let's see. This is a song that I wrote about my dear dog, Clarence. This was 3 dogs and 25 years ago. There was this mutt named Clarence who was a Weimaraner lab mutt. The conversation on Sunday morning, Clarence would go out, pick up the paper, carry it around the house. I'd go like this, he'd drop it. Just amazing. Very protective, but very safe, even with babies. And so Clarence, so the conversation with my dear wife was, well, who's your best friend? And so there was an article in the paper. So we started discussing it. She finally said, well, who's your best friend? So there's Clarence, he's a dog. He's at the back window outside, and he's slobbering at the window. And I said, well, Clarence is a dog. Dog is man's best friend. Therefore, Clarence is my best friend. No, she's really my best friend. 52 years plus another 4 in the making. And but this song went out to Clarence as he was getting older, and just before he died. And it's a real song. It's a folk song because everything about it is quote unquote true, meaning I did hitchhike across the country in the winter with a dog and a friend named Roddy in the middle of the winter from Arizona to New York. And this part has a audience participation part in it, and it has to do with that coyote howl. So if we could just practice that for 1 second. You've been pretty quiet throughout all this and very attentive, and I really appreciate that. But this time, I really want you to howl at the right point. You'll know when it is. Ready? Let's just practice it once. Ow! 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 Wow, I don't even have to ask you to do it again because that was just about as perfect as you get. A little louder, a little bit more yodely at the end, but you get the point. Now me and Pablo, we go back before it was 3. And me and Roddy, baby, hitchhiked across the whole country in the winter. But Clarence the dog, he'd take a bullet for me. Clarence take a bullet, Clarence take a bullet, Clarence take a bullet for me. Clarence take a bullet, Clarence take a bullet, Clarence take a bullet for me. He's got big yellow eyes, sometimes he eats flies, dirty as a dog can be. Hershey bar skin and a big white grin, we're not so sure if his ancestry. But Clarence take a bullet, Clarence take a bullet, Clarence take a bullet for me. Clarence take a bullet, Clarence take a bullet, Clarence take a bullet for me. Well, I love my friends and my family, and I'm sure they love me. Life and health and corporate lawyers and life and health and disability. Well, Clarence the dog, he take a bullet for me. Clarence take a bullet, Clarence take a bullet, Clarence take a bullet for me. Clarence take a bullet, Clarence take a bullet, Clarence take a bullet for me. He'd go down to the floor, he wouldn't ask for more. He wouldn't ask for what's in it for me. He'd come right back again. He is this man's best friend, Clarence the dog. Clarence, you hear that? Clarence the dog would take a bullet for me. All right, now as Igor would say, at open mics. I need my cast of thousands to come on up. So this is our finale, so appropriately on time. Oh, I got to switch instruments. You think about it, each one of those has, Robby and I each have 8 strings on this. So we have 32 strings to entertain you. Jordan is this song. As I was thinking about the show, I was thinking about one way to end it. And we had these violins, and there's one song I really love, and anyone can sing as loudly as they want. And I'm doing bass and voice, and Tom Petty like mandolin. by me, oh, stand by me. Oh, darling, stand by me, stand by me. Stand by me, won't you stand by me? Oh, darling, stand by me, stand by me. Won't you stand by me? Oh, stand by me. Oh, darling, stand by me. Thank you all for coming. This didn't just happen. If it wasn't for all these volunteers, we have Steffy and we have Aimie, Kentarou, and Michael DiBarry, and we also have Vincent, Alfonzo, Jamal, and his beautiful daughter, whose name is Sajani, which means the beautiful, which I agree. And she kept a great time on the two all throughout, and better than your dad, by the way, which is where it's supposed to be. And thank you to Robby Roberson, and also to just, the fact that this library, as an extension of the Glendale City government, has funding for these sort of programs, puts this together, and Ivy Jarvis and her team just do an amazing job of creating these things. If you like this show, come on Thursday this next week, because there's a glass harmonica. Benjamin Franklin discovered that if you take a wine glass and rub it around, it has a sound. So he made drums of that on a spindle. And so this is one of the only people on the planet that can play one of these instruments, and it's going to be 6:30 to 7:30 this Thursday. So thank you to Ivy. If you liked what you heard, you got to thank Jordan and Em, because they're the ones that made it sound so that you could hear. Again, if it wasn't for Cowboy Gwen and Glenn and Walt Richardson at ALMC and the Tempe Center for the Arts Walking Wednesdays and my community of friends and neighbors, we wouldn't be here. Got to thank a few teachers. How to play with my right hand with classical technique, and my teacher in New Mexico, Vanessa, who taught me how to sing, and my dear wife Debbie and friends who support me. Thank you so much for coming. If you liked the show, there's some forms that you can fill out. Give it all fives if 5 is the best or something, because she will tell you that it's important because they're doing credentialing type things or something with the library right now. So, Ivy, thank you so much for... Thank you. Ready?
Thank you, everyone, so much for your attendance today. It was such a wonderful, diverse program. Thank you, Ken, for all of the effort you put into making this happen.